This is actually the part C of my lecture on matrix representation of observables for quantum systems. In this lecture, I will talk about the change of basis in quantum mechanics. Click the I button here somewhere to watch part B of my lecture, where we have learned that in quantum mechanics, when we write down an operator in a matrix form, for example, H is equal to 2 minus 1 minus 1 2, or H equal to 1 0 0 3, we should keep in mind that the matrix representations of the operator are given with respect to some basis. Here in this case, the basis vectors are phi 1, phi 2, and in this case the basis vectors are psi 1, psi 2, where phi 1 is equal to 1 0 and phi 2 is equal to 0 1, and psi 1 is equal to 1 by root 2 1 1, and psi 2 is equal to 1 by root 2 1 minus 1. One can precisely write down this operator in terms of the outer products 2 phi 1 phi 1 minus 1 phi 1 phi 2 minus 1 phi 2 phi 1 plus 2 phi 2 phi 2 phi 2, and in this case one can precisely write down this operator in terms of these outer products. This is equal to 1 psi 1 psi 1 plus 0 psi 1 psi 2 plus 0 psi 2 psi 1 plus 3 psi 2 psi 2. We will now discuss about the change of basis, that is how to go from one set of basis vectors, that is this phi 1 phi 2, to another set of basis vectors, that is psi 1 psi 2. And first we study this problem purely from the perspective of matrix algebra. In matrix algebra, we go from one set of basis vectors to another set of basis vectors through a transformation matrix or change of basis matrix. So we go from this basis to this basis through this transformation matrix. We write down this P as the transformation matrix as A, B, C, D. We will determine the values of A, B, C, D for this change of basis. And one can imagine this change of basis as a rotation of the basis vectors. When the transformation matrix P acts on phi 1, when the transformation matrix P acts on the basis phi 1, we obtain psi 1. So we obtain psi 1, and when the transformation matrix P acts on phi 2, we obtain psi 2. So this equation actually leads us to this. So psi 1 is actually 1 by root 2, 1 1. P is given by this matrix A B C D, and phi 1 is 1 0. Okay, and this equation actually leads us to 1 by root 2, 1 minus 1 is equal to P. P is actually this matrix A B C D, and phi 2 is 0 1. So we call this equation as equation 1, and we call this equation as equation 2. So from equation 1, we obtain 1 by root 2 1 1 is equal to A B C D 1 0, right? This is, if we do this matrix multiplication, this row and column, this is A, and this row, this column gives us C, and equating the matrix elements on both sides, we get A is equal to 1 by root 2 and C is equal to 1 by root 2. And from equation 2, what we obtain, 1 by root 2 1 minus 1 is equal to A B C D and 0 1. So if we do this matrix multiplication, what we obtain, this row and this column, this B, and this row, this column gives us D. And if we equate the elements on both sides, B is equal to 1 by root 2 and D will be equal to minus 1 by root 2. Hence the transformation matrix P is A B C D. Now we have the values of A, B and C and D. B will be equal to 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 1 by root 2, and D is minus 1 by root 2. So here in this particular case, for this change of basis, the transformation matrix is actually given by this. Now to see the effect of this basis transformation on the operators, let us do this matrix multiplication. P inverse 2 minus 1 2, this matrix, and then here again P, where P being the change of basis matrix and P inverse is the matrix inverse of this. So P inverse is the inverse matrix. So if we calculate the inverse of this matrix, what we will get, actually in this particular case it is the same matrix, but usually P and P inverse differs. So now we substitute these matrices P inverse and P here. P inverse is 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 and minus 1 by root 2, and then this matrix, and then P is again the same matrix in this particular case, 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. So first we do this matrix multiplication, this multiplied by this. So this is actually equal to, we keep this as it is, 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2, and the matrix multiplication of this and this will give us this matrix, actually 1 by root 2, 3 by root 2 and 1 by root 2 minus 3 by root 2. Now if we do this matrix multiplication, that will give us 1 0 0 3. So this is called the similarity transformation in matrix algebra, which is often used to diagonalize a matrix. We can easily see that this matrix is now diagonalized. And to diagonalize a matrix, the change of basis matrix, that is P, can be constructed very easily also using the eigenvectors of the original matrix. So if we know the eigenvectors of this matrix, we already know, right? Psi 1 and psi 2. Psi 1 is 1 by root 2 1 1 and psi 2 is 1 by root 2 1 minus 1. Then this similarity transformation matrix P actually is constructed using these eigenvectors. So we place psi 1 here and place psi 2 here. So psi 1 is this column matrix 1 by root 2 1 by root 2. We place psi 1 here, that is this, and we place psi 2 here, so that is 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. So that gives us the transformation matrix. The change of basis in quantum mechanics also implies a rotation of the basis vectors, but one should remember that in quantum mechanics the rotation in general occurs in a complex linear vector space called the Hilbert space, and the rotation is described by a unitary transformation here. So in quantum mechanics, if we have two sets of basis vectors, for example A1 A2 and B1 B2, we call this as A basis and this B basis, and we are restricting to two-dimensional Hilbert space for simplicity, and both set of basis vectors satisfying the orthonormality and completeness, that is AI AJ is Kronecker delta IJ, and sum over I, sum over these outer products AI that gives us the identity operator, and in this case also the basis vectors with this orthonormality condition Bi Bj is equal to delta Ij, and the completeness relation is satisfied, that is the sum of these outer products Bi is equal to the identity matrix. Then there exists a unitary operator U, there exists a unitary operator U to realize this change of basis, where B1 is equal to U A1 and B2 is equal to U A2, and U is the unitary operator satisfying these relations. U dagger U is equal to identity operator, or U dagger is also the identity operator, or from here actually we can say that U dagger is equal to U inverse. Any unitary operator U satisfy these conditions, and the unitary operator associated to this change of basis vectors can be constructed using this sum of following outer products. So U can be actually constructed, the unitary transformation matrix can be constructed by the sum of these outer products bi ai, and if we write here I goes from 1 to 2, if we write down all the terms, that is we explicitly write down all the terms in the summation, that will give us b1 a1 plus b2 a2. So this actually realizes this basis transformation, and u dagger is actually very easy to calculate from here because it is written in this outer product form. U dagger will be we just interchange the place of a1 and b1 here. So u dagger will be this a1 b1 plus, here also we interchange the place of a2 and b2. So you see, this is the unitary transformation matrix, and this is u dagger, which is obtained by flipping these place of a1 b1 and a2 b2. So this is the Hermitian conjugate of u. So the transformation matrix U is given by the sum of these outer products, that is b1 a1 plus b2 a2, and U dagger is this matrix. Now one can easily check that U dagger, we just substitute those expressions here. So U dagger is a1 b1 a1 b1 plus b1 actually a2 b2, this is U dagger, and then u is b1 a1 plus b2 a2. So this term will first act on this and then this, so this acting on this will give us a1 b1 then b1 a1, right, b1 a1. Okay, then this will act on the second term, that is a1 b1 and then b2 a2 plus this will act on this term, so that is a2 b2 b1 a1 plus this acts on this a2 b2 then b2 a2. Okay, now we can easily see that b1 this inner product is 1 and this inner product is 0 because they are orthogonal. This inner product is also 0 and this inner product is equal to 1 because they are orthonormal vectors, right? So which term actually survives? So this term and this term will survive. So that means a1 outer product plus a2 outer product. Actually this is the completeness relation for the A basis, right? So this is equal to the identity operator. So U dagger U is actually the identity operator or identity matrix, as I have already mentioned here. We can also see very easily that when this unitary operator U acts on the basis vector A1, that is when U acts on A1, it will give, so we substitute the expression of U here, what is u? b1 a1 plus b2 a2, it acts on a1, so this term will act on this, so that will give us b1 a1 plus this will act on this, this is b2 a2 a1. Now we can easily see that this inner product a1 is 1 and this inner product a2 a1 is 0 because they are orthogonal vectors. So the result is b1. And similarly, when we apply this unitary transformation to the basis vector a2, so if we apply u on the basis vector a2, what we obtain is u is actually b1, u is b1 a1 plus b2 a2 which acts on the basis vector a2. Then we obtain, so this acts on a2 linearly, these terms I am writing b1 a1 a2 plus this acts on this b2 a2 a2. Now we can easily see that this inner product is 0 and this inner product is 1 because they are orthonormal basis vectors. So this term vanishes, so we only have this term. This is actually b2. So finally what we obtain, b1 is u a1, b2 is equal to u a2, that is b1 is equal to u a1 and b2 is equal to u a2. Hence the operator u, this transformation, unitary transformation operator u, provides us the desired transformation. This is our desired transformation or desired change of basis. Now let us see how does the matrix elements of an operator, that is the operator H, change under this unitary transformation. So we write down the matrix elements of the operator H in B basis. So Bi, H and Bj. So this gives us the matrix elements of H, Hij actually, Bi, Bj, and we write here small b to remember, that is these are the matrix elements of H in this basis, this Bi basis actually, B. So Bi, Bj, that is Hij in the B basis, and we can actually write this as Bi. We insert two identity operators, one here and another here, and there is this gate Bj here. Now we replace these identity operators by the completeness relation of this Ai basis, that is sum over I, Ai, sum over all these outer products gives us the identity operator, because this Ai, A1, A2 form a complete set of orthonormal basis vectors. So this is the completeness relation for Ai basis. So we just replace this identity operator by those completeness relations. So Bi and identity operator is replaced by this completeness M AM, AM, M goes from 1 to 2, and sum of these outer products gives us the identity operator, right? And then there is this H operator, and there is another identity operator which we also replace by another completeness relation of the A basis. So sum over n, an, an, and then there is this Kate Bj, Kate Bj. So this will be equal to sum over the indices m and n, where m and n both goes from 1 to 2, and there is this bra bi. I am writing the terms as it is, bi, then Kate am, then am h, an, an, bj. Now we know that this, from this transformation, bi is actually uai, and its Hermitian conjugate, this is Kate bi. So if I want to have the bra bi, actually bra bi, that will be bra ai u dagger. We already know that the Hermitian conjugate of a Kate vector, Hermitian conjugate of a Kate vector, Hermitian conjugate is bra psi, right? Kate psi, this is bra psi. Similarly, the Hermitian conjugate of a linear operator acting on Kate psi, the Hermitian conjugate of this is actually, this is bra psi a dagger. So that's why if Kate bi is uai, then bra bi will be bra ai u dagger. So we replace this result here and here. So what will be that? So then this will be equal to sum over m n, bra bi is ai, bra bi is bra ai u dagger, then there is this Kate am, and this I am writing as it is am h a n, and a bra an, and what is Kate bj? Kate bj will be just u aj, this is u aj. Now we can see that this is the matrix elements of H in A basis. So this am H an, this is actually H mn, the mn element, that is the mth row nth column element of H in this basis, A basis. So this is actually, and this is the Im element of this matrix U dagger, and this is nj element of this matrix U. So sum over M and N. This U dagger, matrix elements of U dagger, which element? IM. And this is the matrix element of H, matrix element of H, the M and Mn element, and this is the matrix element of U, Nj element, Nj element. Now we can easily see that this is actually a matrix multiplication, because there is this summation over M and N, and this matrix element is IM, and here Mn and then Nj. So these matrix elements of H in the B basis is equal to this. So we can say that the matrix representation of H in B basis is equal to U dagger H in A basis and then U. So we infer from this equation actually, because Hij in the B basis is equal to this. So we can infer from this equation that the matrix representation of H in the B basis, that is these basis vectors, is equal to U dagger H in A basis and U. This looks similar to the well-known formula for a similarity transformation in matrix algebra. So this looks similar to U in matrix algebra. We have already seen this transformation, U inverse H U. This is the similarity transformation. Transformation in matrix algebra. In fact, this unitary transformation is a special case of this similarity transformation, and in quantum mechanics we have the added advantage U inverse is actually equal to U dagger. So we have the privilege in quantum mechanics that U dagger is equal to U inverse, because U is a unitary matrix satisfying the relation U dagger U is equal to identity operator. Let us now go back to our previous example where we have two sets of basis vectors, phi 1 is equal to 1 0 and phi 2 is equal to 0 1, and another set of basis vectors psi 1 is equal to 1 by root 2 1 1, and psi 2 is equal to 1 by root 2 1 minus 1. And let us define these basis vectors as A1 and A2, and this as B1 and B2. This is one set of basis vectors, this is another set of basis vectors. Both set of basis vectors satisfy the orthonormality and completeness. Then there exists a unitary operator U, to realize the change of basis, where U is equal to this unitary operator as we have already mentioned, this is the sum of the outer products BI AI. So if we write down all the terms in the summation, that will be B1 A1 plus B2 A2, because we have considered only two-dimensional Hilbert space here. Now B1, Ket B1 is given by this column matrix 1 by root 2 1 1. So Ket B1 is 1 by root 2 1 1, and bra A1 will be this row matrix plus Ket B2 is 1 by root 2 1 minus 1 column matrix, and bra A2 is this 0 1 row matrix. Now if we do this matrix multiplication, what we get, this will be just 1 by root 2, this 1 0 1 0 plus this is 1 by root 2 1 0 0 and 1 0 and minus 1, this matrix, right? So now if we add these two matrices, we will obtain the final result as 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2, and the Hermitian conjugate of U dagger is equal to U transpose and then complex conjugate. So if we do it here, then we obtain this matrix 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 and minus. So in this particular case, actually U and U dagger are the same matrix. So under this unitary transformation, the operator H changes. So from A basis to, we have already derived that if we want to go to the matrix representation of the operator H in B basis, then we have to do this operation U dagger H A U. So that is the unitary transformation. If we want to have the matrix representation of H in this new basis, so then we have to do this operation. So this is analogous to the similarity transformation actually. So now we substitute the expression for U dagger and U here. So U dagger H U, right? So we just substitute it here. What is U dagger? U dagger is 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 and minus 1 by root 2, and the matrix representation of H in this basis, we already have that matrix representation 2 minus 1 minus 1 2, and U is again this matrix 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. Now if we perform this matrix multiplication, then the result will be just this 1 0 0 3. So doing this operation, we obtain the matrix representation of H in V basis, right? So this is the matrix representation of H in this basis. So from HA to HB, we are getting using this unitary transformation or the similarity transformation. Now, as an exercise, one can consider another example of a two-level system with a physical observable, say for example O, where O dagger is equal to the operator. So this operator is Hermitian operator, and the matrix representations of this operator O is given by the matrix representation of this operator is, say for example, this 2i minus I and 2. This is the matrix representation of the operator O, the Hermitian operator, with respect to the basis vectors A1 and A2. So this is the matrix representation of the operator O with respect to these basis vectors A1, A2. And the matrix representation of the operator O with respect to another basis is given by is 1 0 0 3. So this is the matrix representation of the operator O with respect to another basis vectors, another set of basis vectors B1 is 1 by root 2 1 I is I is equal to root over minus 1, the imaginary number. B2 is equal to 1 by root 2 1 minus I. So this is one set of basis vector, this is another set of basis vector. So this is the matrix representation of this operator with respect to this basis B1 base, B1 B2, B1 B2 basis, and both set of basis vectors satisfy the orthonormality and completeness relations. Then there exists a unitary operator, as I have said, there exists a unitary operator to realize the change of basis, where B1 will be UA1 and B2 will be UA2. And I should mention here that these basis vectors are actually the eigenvectors of this matrix. One can easily check that. Now the unitary transformation operator U is given by U is equal to sum over I Bi Ai is equal to B1 A1 plus B2 A2, sum of these outer products. So now if we substitute B1 A1 A1 B1 A2 B2 from here, so what is Kate B1? Kate B1 is 1 by root 2 1 I bra A1. So this is Kate B1. Bra A1 is 1 0 row vector plus Kate B2. Kate B2 is 1 by root 2 1 minus I, and bra A2 is this row vector. So this, if we do this matrix multiplication, we obtain this 1 by root 2 1 0 I 0 plus here 1 by root 2, and this matrix multiplication gives us 0 1 0 minus I, and if we add these two matrices, the final result will be 1 by root 2 1 by root 2 I by root 2 minus I by root 2. So the unitary transformation responsible for this change of basis for this particular case we obtain as this. We can easily have the Hermitian conjugate of U, that is U dagger. U dagger is U transpose, then complex conjugate. So change the row into column, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, and I by root 2 minus I by root 2. Then complex conjugate means this will be minus and this will be plus. So this is U dagger. Now we can see that U and U dagger are actually different matrices. So here actually U is not equal to U dagger, but of course U dagger will be identity. So under this unitary transformation, let us see how this operator actually changes. U dagger, we do this operation, operator in A basis and U. So we just put the expression for U dagger. U dagger is this, 1 by root 2 minus I by root 2 and I by root 2, and then the operator in A basis is this, 2 I minus I 2, and then U is 1 by root 2 I by root 2 minus I by root 2. So if we do this matrix multiplication, then finally we will obtain this result 1 0 0 3. So this is the matrix representation of the operator O in the B basis. So under this transformation actually the matrix operator change its form, because this is the matrix representation of the operator in this basis, this B basis, and they are the eigenvector of that operator. So that's why it becomes diagonal. We conclude this lecture with the remark that often in quantum mechanics we need to choose a particular basis or representation. For example, consider two set of basis vectors, one set of basis vector as this a1 a2 up to an. So this is one set of basis vectors, and there is another set of basis vector a1 prime a2 prime up to an prime. This is another set of basis vectors. We are considering here n dimensional system, and both set of basis vectors satisfy the orthonormality and completeness. Now suppose we have given the following equation, ket phi is equal to a ket psi, where this ket phi and ket psi are two state vectors, and this A is a linear operator in quantum mechanics. So we can now proceed to work with a particular basis. So we can choose this A basis or A prime basis. So let us first choose this basis, that is A basis. So this equation we can write the same equation as we just introduce an identity operator before phi, ket phi, and we introduce two identity operator like this I. So we introduce an identity operator here and another one here, and then there is this ket psi, and we replace this identity operator by the completeness relation of this basis vector ai, because we want to work out this problem using this representation, that is A basis representation. Now we replace these identity operators by the completeness relations of this A basis. So we just replace this identity operator by the completeness relation AI, then there is this ket phi. Here also we replace this identity operator by a completeness relation of A basis. Then there is this operator A, and we replace this identity operator by another completeness relation AJ, sum over these outer products, and there is this ket psi is already there. So this can be written as, the left hand side is the same, AI phi, this is sum over the indices I and j, and this is AI, AJ and AJ psi. Now this is actually an inner product, this is an inner product here, this is another inner product here, and this is the matrix element of A with respect to this basis, A basis actually. So we define this inner product as Ci and this inner product as Dj, and this is actually the ijth element of the operator with respect to this A basis. So I write down it here, Aij is actually Ai, Aj, and Ci is this, and Dj is Aj ket psi. So this left hand side will now become summation over I goes from 1 to n, and j also goes from 1 to n because this is n dimensional Hilbert space. Okay, now the left hand side is Ci Ai, the right hand side becomes sum over the indices Ij, Aij, Dj, and then what is left? This is left, Ai. So this equation actually infers that Ci will be equal to sum over j, Aij, Dj. From this equation we can have all the coefficients C1, C2, C3 up to Cn, and this equation has a matrix form actually. So in matrix form we have C1, C2 up to Cn, and then there is this A matrix. So this is A11, A12 up to A1n, A21, A22 to A2n, then AN1, AN2 up to ANn, and there is this Dj, that is the column vector D1, D2 up to Dn. Hence the matrix representation of this equation phi equal to A psi in this basis, that is in the A basis, this we are working in A basis, right, is expressed in by this matrix equation. And here actually these coefficients C1, C2, Cn, these are the expansion coefficient of the kth vector, that is the state vectors phi. So C1, C2, C3, Cn are the expansion coefficient. We can actually expand this vector phi, this state vector phi. I can write it as I phi. I can be replaced by this completeness relation AI phi, and this is actually we defined as Ci, right? So this is I Ci AI. So when we express this state vector in A basis, then these are that is the C1, C2, C3, Cn are the coefficients of that expansion. So that is explicitly this means C1 A1 plus C2 A2 plus Cn An. Similarly, we can also expand this state vector psi in this A basis using the same trick. We replace this identity operator by this completeness, and then there is sign, and this inner product we have defined as dj. So actually the summation index I can use j here, then this is sum over j dj aj. That means this d1 d2 d3, these coefficients are this summation can be written as d1 a1 plus d2 a2 dn an. So d1 d2 d3 dn are the coefficients of this expansion when we expand this state vector psi in this A basis. So our basis vectors are a1 a2 up to an. So now instead of this basis vector a1 a2 an, that is A basis, we can also choose to work in a different basis, that is a different representation. For example, we want to work out this problem using this primed basis, that is a1 prime a2 prime an prime. In that case, this equation will also be changed, then this will become c1 prime c2 prime cn prime, and these matrix coefficient, that matrix elements will also change. They will become a1 1 prime a1 2 prime. So all these things will be replaced by the primed. Here also they will change to primes, and we have to then expand these state vectors also using the prime basis. So in the prime basis, these coefficients are now Ci prime, so they become primed. So using this prime basis, they become these coefficients, this becomes this primed expansion coefficients, and these matrix elements will also change under that primed basis. So they will become this, and Ci prime is actually Ai prime phi, dj prime is Aj prime phi psi. So we can actually choose a particular representation or a particular basis to work with a physical problem in quantum mechanics. Thanks for watching this video. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, please don't forget to subscribe it and tap the bell icon to get notified for my new videos. Please comment below. Your thoughts and suggestions should be greatly appreciated.